Yes, I think we have Seth from Blue Q. We have Sagoon, and I think we have a few other people joining.
All right, are we ready to begin?
I think yes.
All right. Well, greetings to everyone. It's nice to see all of you, and it's I'm pleased to present another episode of our webinars. And if you haven't seen other ones, they're all recorded, and everyone can find something useful during these sessions. If you're live, or again, welcome. If you're watching this recorded, thank you for all the attention. Today, we're going to discuss costs associated with upgrading your ERP system, and also costs associated with not upgrading your ERP systems. The reasons why you're here, it's probably because you've been wondering what it's going to cost if you decided to go ahead and upgrade whatever legacy system you're on, whether you're on Dynamics NAV, GP, SL, or any old Oracle or whatever other system you just want to upgrade. But you don't know how to start, you don't know what it's going to cost. Most likely you have already realized that it's costing you money to run the legacy system, and instead of spending money on the legacy system, why not invest into a modern solution? But it's easier said than done, so let's see how it breaks down. So every business has different challenges, and you may relate to some of them listed here. But this is a short list, and some of our customers reported their challenges, but by far it's not all of them. But all of them have a direct relationship with wasted money, and nobody wants to waste money. Let's take integrations, for example. If you are not able to integrate with modern APIs, and legacy systems are behind, and for that reason, even developers do not want to work on old technology. Every time developers are faced with old technology, it takes more time, results in wasted time and money. That's just one example. If we take sales tax, even if you manage your own sales tax, your own employees might get frustrated with how much time it takes to audit and report sales tax, if especially if you work with multiple sales channels. And you may be able to identify your own challenges at every corner of your business, and to do this, you just need to ask yourself a question: how many projects are you running currently in your organization? Are they all running efficiently? If you say yes, congratulations, that's great. But if the answer is no, they're not all running efficiently, that there is room to improve, then you may be running too many projects, and maybe you need to focus on what matters most. And if you focus on the ERP system that will allow your business processes run smoothly, then having this baseline framework will allow you to focus on the projects that will further develop your business. You'll be able to innovate and improve customer experience and improve your employee retention, just to name a few. A lot of our customers actually mentioned that they have a turnover because the young generation doesn't want to work for a company with who uses green screen systems or something outdated. They'd rather work for someone with a modern, up-to-date system. So if you're here, if you thought about upgrading, you probably already have a vision and goals why you want to do it. So congratulations, that's the first step in making the project successful. However, simply deciding to upgrade your ERP system is just not a good decision. You can't just say, okay, let's go, and simply because I want to do it. You always want to do it together with someone you can trust, and who is that? First of all, it's your own team. It's your employees, your CFO, your operations manager. What are they saying? What do they tell? Do they think you will benefit from a new up-to-date ERP system? What do your employees tell you? All of that is important. And on this slide, there are several reasons to move to a new ERP. But I thought that today we're gonna flip it. We're gonna talk about the opposites, and as you can see, a lot of these reasons aren't technical. They are not IT related. And why is that? Well, it's simple, because the ERP projects, implementations, upgrades, or anything ERP related is not an IT project. It's a business project where everyone should be involved. Your stakeholders, your employees, your CFO, your CEO. Simply put, not an IT project. And you probably have done a lot of research already yourself. Everybody should do that. And you probably have seen a lot of reasons why you want to upgrade. And there's a lot of persuasion going on by other consultants, like, okay, it's the old systems aren't supported anymore. There are a lot of technical reasons. And there's a lot of pressure, I feel like, that that exists in the industry, but this pressure is not what should result in your decision. You shouldn't be pressured to upgrade, and just because of some technical reasons. Your team needs to understand the value of the new ERP system and what it's going to present to the company. What's the return on investment, the real return on investment. Simply saying that that the system is not going to be supported anymore, I don't know if that's enough of a reason to launch the project. So all of these, the way we're gonna flip these is what if we're not going to do it? What kind of costs would be associated with not taking an action? You can take each topic and note your own estimates related to what if we're not going to do it. At the end, the results may be surprising. We can reverse each one of them. So, for instance, if we talk about spending less time on managing the on-prem solution, we all know that that everything is cloudified, and the modern ERP systems run in the cloud instead of running on-prem. So let's just say we want to spend more time managing our on-prem solutions. What kind of cost does that present? Some of our customers were able to identify that. They were able to say, well, we're paying, I don't know, 120K a year to 3 people to manage it, or we're paying our MSP to manage it. So there's a way to identify that cost. And as time goes by, you need to upgrade things, you need to maintain the servers and whatnot. So there's cost to it, right? If we take another point, that some business requirement comes up and you need to integrate your ERP system with some other tools that your business needs to operate. We're just going to say, let's just not do that. And if we're not going to do it, what would be the impact? Well, it would result in loss of productivity and let's say a simple thing like we want to analyze our data in Excel from ERP, but it's not integrating well. It's not out of the box. There's a cost to that, right? So many consultants, many specialists tell you, well, these are the reasons you need. This is why you want to upgrade. And if we flip it, I think there is a different sound to that, right? So we can take another example. The modern ERP systems will allow you to stay ahead of your competition. Well, we flip it and we say, well, we don't really want to stay ahead of our competition. That doesn't make any sense. Well, that doesn't sound too good, right? We, for instance, are working with a client of ours that has a goal to compete with their top competitors and stay ahead of the game, because the competition is taking actions. They're doing things. They have a vision, but if your business is static and you don't have to stay ahead of the competition, then maybe this is not for you. Each one of these topics, if flipped, then you look at it in a slightly different way, and all of a sudden you're able to attach real cost to it. Employee retention is real. We worked with several companies where we had to step in, and the CEO simply asked us to interview employees and help them retain the employees. And the way we were able to do that is to offer them tools that they can use to do their jobs more efficiently, to make it enjoyable, gamified even. So investing into what matters the most to the business instead of supporting old legacy systems. And again, we can go and flip it, and let's not invest into what matters to the business. Let's just continue to support the old stuff. Well, again, doesn't make sense, right? And do we wanna put money towards that? I don't think so. Nobody will say, well, that makes a lot of sense. And flipping such topics into this perspective will definitely help you understand the costs associated with not taking an action. And this is just an example of how these systems can improve productivity and improve the rather decrease the costs associated with not taking an action. Another topic here is leverage new features and options available in the latest releases of the software. Well, if someone tells you this, and yeah, of course, it sounds great, but how do you actually realize this? I feel like if we again flip it and we say, well, let's not leverage any new features. Let's not leverage any new options available in the latest releases of the software. What is that going to give us? It's going to give us a pretty boring situation where we are not making use of what these software manufacturers are giving us. It doesn't even have to be Microsoft. We're not here to sell anything. We're here to inform. So this can be applicable to any system of your choice. We're not persuading you to go with Business Central or with Microsoft or anything. We're here to help you make the right decision. And all of you are probably using AI by now. For me, at least, I'm asking AI questions every day, all day. So let's just say we're not going to use AI in our ERP system. We don't want to boost productivity. Well, again, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you not do that? It already helped you with your everyday tasks. You're probably already are using AI, and modern ERP systems, Business Central, namely, has built-in AI, and the entire ecosystem has that as well. So find these reasons and flip them and ask yourself, what would be the cost of not taking an action? And of course, some benefits are realized immediately, but other benefits cannot be realized immediately. They are realized over several years. So we work with different customers, long-time customers, and they continue to benefit year over year because they decided to get onto this new modern platform rather than staying in the past. So this forward thinking is what develops successful, innovative businesses, and taking action creates success, because no one ever said, well, I didn't do anything and then became successful, right? So again, doesn't make sense. So you got to do something to become successful. So these immediate benefits are available to realize right away as soon as you get onto the new software. In our case, it's Business Central, but whatever you choose, right? There are obviously immediate benefits available. So this platform allows you to forget about upgrading ever again, because upgrades are going to be available at a click of a button. You review it, you set the date, and then you're upgraded. Not like it was in the past. In the past, every version you had to go through some big project. Well, that's no more. Nobody wants to do that again. So this simplified diagram will show you how it all happens, how an ERP, Business Central ERP, interconnects and integrates, and how the costs are there to help you consolidate everything into one ecosystem. Microsoft created this ecosystem. They didn't do it for themselves. They did it for the customers, so that everyone can take advantage of it. So no one but Microsoft is able to offer this. SAP, Oracle, and Sage, of course, that they compete, but they don't have the ecosystem that Microsoft does. And I feel like we don't have to prove it. You probably already know it. Of course, Google has an ecosystem, but they don't have an ERP. Amazon has a pretty good ecosystem for what they're doing, but they also don't have an ERP. Oracle has NetSuite, but it consists of all acquired solutions that don't really talk together or require an integration, which is also owned by the same company, and you need to pay for it. So costs are just adding up, and when you have a system where everything is connected together, and licensing can be a little hard to understand, but once you get it, it's really all in one. And SAP is again almost the same as Oracle. Many different acquired systems working. Yes, they can work together with an integration, which again you have to pay for it. But with Microsoft, everything is interconnected out of the box. And if you're a nonprofit company, licenses are offered at no cost. Microsoft is just a great American company that takes care of nonprofit organizations. So if you know any nonprofit organizations, they gotta know why would they use anything else because Microsoft is giving it for free. So this circle here represents a lot of important things, and that there's a lot of value at each corner of the circle. Outlook, there is a direct and cool integration with an ERP. Excel, direct and even cooler integration with an ERP. Word, all reports that you run, you can simply design and create reports in Word, and Teams is all connected. So when we start talking about evaluating costs, again, we can flip it and say, well, what if we're not using, let's say, Teams, and we're going to use something else, and there's going to be more cost to that, and it's going to need to talk together. Well, if you're already using Teams, then it's kind of you got to at least consider what is the cost of not having these two work together. I think that's very important to consider these costs, and at the end, when we add them up, we can then realize, well, then it makes perfect sense to go ahead and upgrade. Power BI is another solution, works out of the box. Reports are already available. Yes, there is a paid version, but the free version works just as well, and you don't need to buy anything like you have to do with the competitors. It's there, connected, available, and same can be said about any other product in the Power Platform corner of the circle. Another important corner of the circle is this Microsoft partner ecosystem. The marketplace, the app source, allows you to download and review a lot of different applications that partners have developed. Try them, check them out, find the solutions that Business Central is not able to cover out of the box. They include mobile WMS, a great solution by our partner Tasklet, a point of sale, and another great solution by another one of our partners, LS Retail. I could go on and on. Credit card processing, all built in. This is our own solution, and there are thousands of these solutions that are just available. Some of them are even free, and you might be familiar with this concept. Like even on your phones, you can go to apps and try to use them. This is the same way, except with your ERP. And then there is Azure. If you want to get all sophisticated and develop custom apps and do a lot of additional technical things, that is there as well. So what is not here? Maybe you're not here. So maybe you're not here to take advantage of all of this. So this is a complete ecosystem from the world's best software company. So all of this sounds great, right? So, but how is it actually done? How do we do this? How do we make it happen? And I can tell it's not easy, and you already probably know that it's not easy. And having done so many projects, I can tell it's not easy because everyone has to work together. big part of the costs associated with the project that they come from your team, from the customer. Simply put, time needs to be dedicated and be done. And everyone working together is really, really important. What's also important is trusted partner, and whomever you choose, just be sure to put 2 check marks into the knowledge pillar and trust pillar. Your partner whom you choose to work with needs to undeniably cover the trust and the knowledge. If there is no trust, don't start the project, and that applies to any project, really, not just ERP, and I'm sure you already know that. And knowledge, if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, well, why would you engage into the project with anybody like that? So back to how is it done? So one of the approaches is to get the project done is to upgrade. While it looks simple on this slide, it's really not simple. It involves many decisions. For example, upgrades are often confused or used interchangeably with re-implementations. And reality is that it shouldn't matter what we call it or what you call it. What should matter is the results that we get out of the project. If for instance, if we decided that we don't need any historical data, we can label the project as re-implementation. But data is the most important business asset that we have today, right? So at the very least, we need to consider what we're gonna bring over and what we're not gonna bring over. And when it comes to getting things done, salespeople can often tell you a lot of different things, and they will agree with it, with everything. And we ran into so many situations where this is the case. So we also have salespeople, but I have to say, do not trust anything you're told if you're only talking to a salesperson. Many of our customers told us that they were promised the moon and the sky and whatever they asked for, but when the time came to materialize, developers and consultants simply said, well, we don't know what you're talking about. We're not aware of this requirement. It's pretty sad, but it's true. It happened, and it happens more often than it should. So this is why it's very important to have a really good plan. You can have a great team. You can have very knowledgeable and trustworthy people, but if you don't have a plan, then everything can fall apart. And this plan needs to be backed up by the consultants, by the developers, and by the other stakeholders. It's super important. Otherwise, you are risking wasting money, losing money that was budgeted for the project, and now it's going to go down the drain, and nobody likes that. Again, to a point of how do we get started? How do we assign costs to the things that we're not going to take an action with? Which corners of the business do you want to look at to identify these challenges and money that is being wasted or time that is being wasted? And then in a lot of cases, you can say, well, I'm paying my employees to do this job. They should just be doing this job. But time is an asset that is never, you can never gain time. We can only lose time. So we can make money, but we cannot make time. Nobody has figured that out yet. So the best way to cover that is to make things more efficient. So so how do we do that? We start with listing all the projects that are going on in the business. And it might be surprising how many projects every business is running at the same time. We've met some customers who had over 200 projects running at the same time. Then we talk to, you need to talk to your own employees, make a list, because everyone's transformation journey is going to be different, and as I said earlier, it may span over several years with taking different phases. But it's also important to define the project minimums. Everybody will want the moon and the sky, and this is why the salespeople do this, because they know that everybody wants that and everybody will buy that. But in reality, you can't do everything at the same time. You got to define these project minimums, and these project minimums, you got to view it as like your business's minimum flight altitude. You just cannot go any lower than that. If you go any lower than that, then the business might crash like an airplane that flew too low, too slow, or whatever the case might be. I'm not a pilot, but I kind of like I kind of like aviation, so that's why I'm bringing up this example. So things that would be nice, but don't necessarily need to be within the minimum, they also should be noted. And while you may not incorporate them into the project or into the minimums, we should still know about them. You should know about them, and maybe later pick them back up. But a lot of things, and just like other projects you're running or not running within your business, you may want to pause them or maybe even cancel them because they don't make sense. Some requirements voiced by the users cancel out other requirements because a simple change in the process can achieve the same result. So a lot of these projects or requirements, they simply cancel each other, like in the math, certain formulas, we can cancel out the variables and simplify. Mathematics simplification really does apply here as well. So as long as it makes business sense, that's what matters. So license availability and promotions, all those are are pretty good reasons to make the switch. So look for promotions, look for specials. Right now, for instance, 40% discounts on the licenses. Microsoft offers up to $100,000 incentives in cash towards implementations if you qualify, and there are several more incentives. So again, flipping them, why not take advantage? It just makes sense. But if you are persuaded by someone in a way that we talked about in the beginning, it just sounds like a hard sell. And you never want to do that. You want to realize uh, your own benefits. You want to see what makes sense to you. You don't want nobody to tell you, well, this is what you should do, and here are a few reasons, and that's it. It's just not right. So aside from the discounts, many other incentives are available. The best one by far is Microsoft offering up to $100,000 towards the project itself. Just another example how Microsoft cares about their customers. So how much does it all cost? Some upgrades can cost as low as $10,000. We've done several upgrades, and we were able to fix the price, fix the scope, and guarantee the results. And yes, some upgrades can cost as little as 10K and are done within a month or less. But of course, every upgrade is different, and what makes it different? How is it different? Well, that there are some factors. It depends on some factors such as your database size, your current version, amount of data migrated, if you want to migrate anything, custom solutions, customizations, all that. But plenty examples exist where the upgrades are pretty affordable, actually. You can ask our references, you can ask our customers, and we're not making it up just to make a sale. It's all of this is real. How then you will ask a question, how do we get an estimate? Well, it's easy. We work with you on a free needs analysis, and why do we do it for free? Because we're confident that that what we do works. And if you are not able to answer the questions that we sampled in this short conversation, maybe the upgrade is not for you. Maybe you don't want to do it, and we will simply tell you, hey, you're not ready to do the upgrade. You got to go back to the drawing board, to your own drawing board, and be ready for the upgrade. Nobody's going to force you to. Nobody should force you to do the upgrade. We've done this again and again, and we've turned down some of the customers because they're just not ready to upgrade. And how can we guarantee the results if you're not ready to upgrade? We just can't. and all of this comes with a fixed price, fixed scope, guaranteed results. So what could be the next step? Remember, you can't just decide to upgrade and just pull the trigger and go. You got to be ready, and planning is the most important part of a project, and any project, not just ERP. So if there's anything else to learn besides ERP from this session, planning is most important. So where are you at right now on this map? Do you have your vision? Do you already know what the goals are? If you don't, you're not ready to upgrade. You should go back and define the goals and evaluate the requirements if you haven't done that. If you're evaluating the requirements, you might be skipping a step if you haven't defined the goals. Just if you're skipping a step, it's just not a good idea. It's not going to work. Have you involved enough stakeholders into these decisions? If you haven't, reconsider. Or if you thought that this is an IT project, you got to think again. So you got to find yourself on this path and see where you at and create this plan. And if you're struggling, you got to find a partner who is knowledgeable and trustworthy, and do not mobilize the project until all of these are completed. And we can again start flipping these points, and we can see what happens if we don't do them. So let's just say we're not going to define project goals. We're just going to go for it. Well, how does that sound? That just sounds pretty dumb, in my opinion. Why would we not define project goals? And you can just follow my examples and ask, yeah, let's not evaluate the project requirements. Again, sounds pretty dumb. So don't make these mistakes and make your project successful. So if you take this presentation and you think about all of these steps and not taking an action and assigning costs to them, then by the time you add everything together we discussed on slides 3 and 4 and your own areas that you find in the corners of your business, what is that estimated number? What is that estimated dollar amount of not taking an action? And keep in mind, we all tend to underestimate. So you may want to look at that number and think about it again, understanding that often things are underestimated. How many of you took part in a project that went over budget? Well, I'm sure it happened at least a couple of times, right? So cost of not taking an action is always higher, or postponing the decisions. Cost just grows with it. Take anything. Take some sort of a plumbing issue in your house. Over time, and the issue just grows, and and over time it's going to cost you even more to fix it. So just think about that. start planning now. Save your money, but more importantly, reinvest it into your business. That's all I have today. Thank you for listening. And if you're watching this recording, comment. If you have any questions, if you're live, let me know. Our entire team is here to help. Take care.
Bye, guys.